During this module, my practice has changed from a collection of photographs into something that is definitely developing a focus. For this project, I've been taking psychogeographic walks around my area and documenting the mundane and the banal in an everyday environment. With lockdown, people have been confined to their homes, with their only escape to exercise or to walk outside in their local area. Like many, I've begun to explore my local area of Nottingham, but with a more critical view. As Sontag says about photographers and banality, the photographer is an armed version of the solitary walker, reconnoitering, stalking, cruising the urban inferno, and the voyeuristic stroller who discovers the city as a landscape of voluptuous extremes. The flaneur finds the world picturesque. My area is a big part of my identity. It is the place where I grew up, the place where I have settled down, and therefore capturing it will always be close to my heart. During this module, I decided to walk a fixed route of the postcode border rather than using a more random psychogeographic method. The NG4 area of Nottingham has a mix of residential and rural areas within its 30k border. For me, the route is what happens in between the photographs I take, and this in turn links them together. As I walk the route, I have been capturing things as I find them and that are in situ. I like to capture them before something changes and they are gone forever. The thing that interests me about walking the postcode border is that parts of it are built up and parts of it are in the countryside. This has led me to think about the geographical difference between the city, the country, and the places that are in between. I'm looking forward to capturing this contrast. With this banality in mind, I discovered Mark Power's project, 26 Different Endings. In this project, Power noticed the London A to Z coverage changes year to year. Some areas are left off the map, others added in. He decided to photograph the places that fell off the edge of the map. It could be argued these places have been forgotten or overlooked by the A to Z manufacturer. These themes of banality also run through George Shaw's paintings. Shaw is a contemporary British artist known for his realistic depictions of banal scenes in the suburbs of Coventry where he grew up. In Richard Billingham's project, Black Country, Billingham went back and photographed the area he grew up in, once in the day and then later by night. In this project, Billingham wanted to prove that you can take good photos anywhere, and the most banal place he could think of was where he grew up. Seeing his work and the work of Power and Shaw has invigorated me and strengthened my passion for the subject within my own practice. Billingham said this about his Black Country project: I was more conscious of my surroundings, but at the same time I did not want to let go of the emotional reassurance and security that my hometown afforded me. And I think that's one of the things that is with me when I'm on my walks, remembering things that have happened in the places I'm seeing, how it used to be different and how it used to look. In the early part of this module, I began to take psychogeographic walks at night. Photographing at night is something I've always done and find alluring. However, once I'd taken a few shots during this project, I got the feeling that they were too similar to Todd Hido's work. Todd Hido has always been a big influence on me, and I enjoy going out at night and taking these long exposures in his style. With the shots I'd taken, I was concerned about plagiarism, but Hido himself gives me some food for thought on this. He says, there are a million ways to talk yourself out of making your work, and saying to yourself that it's already been done is a big one. Not everything has been done before. Go and do your work. You can see where it leads and how it fits once it's made. When I began the postcode walk, I purposely chose to go out during the day so that my imagery would be different from my night images and therefore different from Hido's work. In my portfolio review with Hannah Katrina Jedros, she talked about the punctum of an image and felt that the images I had taken at night had scratched her more than the daytime images. I definitely get her point and agree that the nighttime images are stronger than the images I've taken in the day. However, I do feel that having a mix of imagery, i.e., daytime, nighttime, winter, summer, etc., will help with the development of the project and give me a more diverse body of work to choose from. I would like to finish the 30k walk around the postcode border during the day, and then maybe go out and cover the same route at night. I can then collate the images together and make a succinct, coherent selection. When thinking about the future progress of my practice, one thing that is different between my work and the work of my influences is the distance from the subject. If you look back at the work from Power, Billingham, or Heido, they tend to be further away from the subject. Within my practice, a lot of the images I've selected have a similar distance from the subject. So I need to develop two things within this practice. I need to experiment with the distance from my subject, being further away and then sometimes closer in. Alongside this, I need to think about how I select the images and have a variety of distances in the images I pick out, making a more succinct and coherent collection. With my previous work, I have been selecting images that have similar distances from the subject. I think this was somewhat subconscious, but now I can see the bonus of having a more varied selection. With the professional location of my practice, I think that I would look to produce a small book and some prints of the imagery from this project. I would like to produce a small A5 booklet with a basic functional aesthetic, similar to what Phil Hill has produced with Out of Place books. With that in mind, I would also like to work with the Knots Zine Library and with Dizzy Inc. These are Nottingham-based studios that help many local creatives to self-publish their work. Working with these studios will help me to get my practice out there in the local creative community.